penultimate round of the Ninja A-League season begins in Brisbane, and in the razor-thin race for finals, few battlegrounds are bigger than Spencer Park. Brisbane Roar hosting Perth Glory. It is a potentially season-defining showdown for two teams who are out to end their finals droughts. Both sitting outside the top six, looking in at the present moment. And they stand squarely in each other's way of jumping in. A look at the Ninja A-League ladder tells you why. 7th against 8th on the table, just the 1 point between them. You can see the Mariners and Melbourne Victory sitting fractionally ahead of tonight's opponents, and you can imagine they will have a keen interest on this fixture. It is a top 6 equation that sets the scene for a game that both are desperate to win. No one wants to draw, and neither can afford to lose. Both teams making their way out onto the pitch in search of 3 points. Only one is going to get their wish this evening. We are going to see a special pre-match presentation as well on behalf of Brisbane Roar to celebrate their returning Asian Cup stars, Chloe Lincoln of the Matildas and Angie Beard of the Philippines, both of those having very successful Asian Cup campaigns. There are the Roar's two returning stars of the Asian Cup, of course. Chloe Lincoln going all the way to the final with Australia. And starting the first 2 games of the tournament, keeping 2 clean sheets against Iran and the Philippines. Of course, Angie Beard's Philippines, who went on to qualify for the World Cup, reaching the knockouts. It's one of the best third-place finishing teams. A hearty applause at Spencer Park for those two. They're both going to be handed a jersey as well, we understand. Of course, Angie Beard scored one of the goals that sent the Philippines to the World Cup next year. And a 2-0 win against Uzbekistan, a fantastic goal. There's a hearty round of applause for her too. Let's go to the lineups because there is a bit of selection controversy for Brisbane. The club were informed last night Mariana Seidel will be suspended for this game. Her second yellow card last week mistakenly attributed to Talia Franco. So she goes out of the 11 alongside Zara Kruger and Daisy Brown, who are both on international duty. The good news, of course, Chloe Lincoln and Angie Beard both straight back into the 11. They come in next to Kaya Stevenson and Kira Myers. When these two last met all the way back in round 2, would you believe, Bente Janssen was at her brilliant best. 2 goals in a 3-2 win, ultimately decisive goals. She scored her 8th of the season last week. That ended a 5-game goalless run. Tonight, Perth are bolstered by the return of a few stars. Julia Sato is back from a calf injury that's kept her out since the Asian Cup, and Oni Zog starts, having served her 1-game suspension. Megan Wynn also comes into the starters, her first start since returning from the ACL injury that she sustained last season. We've got a bit of a homecoming tonight for Izzy Dalton. Of course, the Glory captain grew up in Queensland. She made her Ninja A-League debut for Brisbane Roar back in 2014. She was also their player of the season the last time the Roar made finals 6 years ago. And it's a big thanks and farewell to tonight's referee, Rachel Mitchinson. This evening is the 91st and final match of her 12-year tenure in the Ninja A-League. Very fitting to have it end in her home state of Queensland. In season 25-26, it hasn't been an easy one. It's not been a boring run for Alex Smith. Last week's win, it ended a 4-game losing run, having gone 7 unbeaten before that. There's been 66 goals in Roar games this season. They have been the competition's entertainers. It's been a boring evening when Brisbane Roar have been involved in the Ninja A-League this season. Now, Stephen Peters, Perth Glory's coach, knows that with 2 games left against fellow finals combatants, they have their future in their own hands where the postseason is concerned. If they win tonight, it will set up a mouth-watering clash with Melbourne Victory in the final round next week, and it's a game that could well, depending on results elsewhere in the weekend, be for the final spot in the top 6. But before they start to think about that Melbourne Victory game and fighting for the top 6, Perth Glory have to get the win tonight, as do Brisbane Roar. Of course, failure to do that would have them sweating on other results across the weekend. Both of them know what is at stake this evening here at Spencer Park. Tish Wood's one of a number of players who are hoping to bring the finals football feeling back to the Brisbane Roar. Have not made the postseason since 2021. There's another player who's yet to know what finals football looks like in the Ninja League, Momo Hayashi. As we get underway at Spencer Park, the first fixture of a fascinating second to last round in the Ninja A-League. Brisbane Roar and Perth Glory facing off with finals football in their sights, and no doubt the rest of the Ninja A-League watching on with interest. Great to have your company for it wherever you are tuning in from this evening or this late afternoon into early evening for your watching on in Western Australia, in Perth. This game was pushed back by an hour to allow more families to come and attend, from a 6 p.m. local kickoff to a 7 p.m. Brisbane Roar trying to get as many fans in the door as they look for that additional support to get them over the line in this game. Here's Rolla Batawea. Getting off to a hot start in our last head-to-head meeting against Brisbane. Scored a cracking goal at HBF Park. And ultimately a losing effort for the Glory that day. Glory side to have been up and down at various points in these two seasons. The quest for consistency has been a tough one for both sides, but that matters for little at this stage of the season. They know exactly what each side need to do to chart a course towards the top 6. That's a nice turn from Kira Myers. Spencer Janssen in support. That is where the ball heads. Nice little exchange of pass between those two. As Myers looks to get a ball into the box, headed away by Georgia Cassidy. But one back, and the shot is driven away by the Perth defence. Firm strike from Kira Myers. Launches up the line and into the feet of Gabby Holler. It's Megan Wynn striding down the right-hand side. How good is this to see? Back in the Ninja A-League from the start. Decent ball into the box as well. Missed by Batawea. And the second effort from Holler blocked en route. An early corner coming for Perth Glory. Well, that's a reminder of what Megan Wynn can do at her best in the Ninja A-League. There's an enterprising cross from the Welsh international. Just a fraction away from the reach of Rolla Batawea. Early corner for Perth Glory. Emma Tovar with one arm aloft. Ball in, awkward to the back post, and Alex Smith protests for a goal kick. I don't think the ball ever went out. In fact, it hit the corner flag and just stopped and propped in the corner of the pitch. So after the intervention of Oni Zog, it is eventually going to go out for a Perth Glory corner. Cross marches Emma Tovar to take. Both have not been the fastest starters in the Ninja A-League this season. They would love for that to change this evening. Tovar's delivery. Roar heads first to the football. Zog. Tian McKenna Left-footed ball. It dropped at an awkward height, but it's a hearty applause for the returning Chloe Lincoln. She's got good technical ability, Tian McKenna. That perhaps her best. Lovely flick that though from Hayashi. And in turn, a classy touch from Josie Studer. Pass just letting the American down at the crucial moments. It's more like it from Studer. Janssen into space for Stevenson. Judged by Zog. Another foot race on between Beard and Butterwear. Butterwear's going to look to go early, but it's easy pickings for Chloe Lincoln in the end. And given the angle and the distance that she scored from, last time these two sides went head-to-head, you cannot begrudge Roller Butterwear going in search of a 5th goal of the Ninja A-League season. Hot and cold in her first campaign at the Glory, Roller Butterwear. Handful of goals to start the season, 2 in the opening 2 rounds, including that goal against Brisbane. Only 1 in her last 9. Still remains Glory's top scorer. Angie Beard picks a nice gap for Kaya Stevenson. Switch of play over the reach of Janssen, and it's going to be picked up in the Glory defence. Dawson under pressure from Hayashi and Stevenson. Zog able to clear it away. Holler. American brings it down, not the advantage of a teammate. Here comes Woods. Janssen tries to split the gap for Ashlyn Miller. And it's well defended by the returning Julia Sato. Perth trying to play it out from the back here. Johnston up the line. And out of play. And the equation clear for Perth Glory this evening. Can scarcely afford to lose this game. Stevenson has the ball in the corner, can't find a way past the Perth defence, so there's been a bit of a change at the 11th hour to the Perth Glory 11. You can see on the bench there Teresa Morrissey, who was scheduled to start, and that has paved the way for a Ninja A-League debut for the player you just saw on your screen. 24-year-old Dale Schroeder has come in to start for Glory. She's only signed for Glory recently. They've had a bit of an injury crisis in their keeper ranks. Jessica Skinner currently out with a groin injury. Meg Phillips out with an ACL. So the 24-year-old from Perth Atzuri, who was only planning to fill a vacant slot on the bench this evening, has now given her Ninja A-League debut. Alex Smith, no stranger to selection headaches and hijinks in the last 24 hours. Of course, that last-minute suspension means that the Raw themselves have got 2 keepers on the bench this evening. As Tovar pushes it wide to Butterwear. There's a calm presence on the football, Emma Tovar. Butterwear manages to beat out Josie Studer. It's a physical battle between those two. Lots of nipping at the heels from one American to another. Which is given here as it's pushed out. And Badawia is able to keep it alive, but a little more than that in the end. Hayashi to Ruby Cuthbert. Goes along up the line to no avail. Tian McKenna picking a nice pass for Holler. And now Megan Wynn. Oh, she's just been caught in an offside position. A shame too from a Perth perspective. Izzy Dalton had made a very nice run out of midfield to try and latch on to the Welsh International's enterprising pass. Wynn spent 11 months on the sideline after a second ACL rupture of her career late last season. Only came back after the Asian Cup break away to Adelaide. Late season boost for Stephen Peters to be able to start her from the off. To Angie Beard, still waiting for her first win in Brisbane Roar colours since returning before the Asian Cup to get match minutes before representing the Philippines. She'll have defending to do here. A free kick coming courtesy of this challenge from Tish Woods on Izzy Dalton. She's one of the most intense tacklers in the league, Tish Woods. He's more than just about any other player, but has occasionally come at a cost. And they set themselves for another early set-piece test. They have only kept one clean sheet this season, Brisbane. And Emma Tovar will be looking to pick the lock in that raw rear guard. Tovar's delivery well weighted. Badawia flicking towards goal, but straight into the arms of Chloe Lincoln once again. Really nicely placed delivery by Tovar. Badawia did everything right in terms of the positioning, but the contact and power just left a little bit to be desired. As did that pass. Picked off by Kira Myers. Oh, with plenty of numbers forward as Myers heads wide to set herself for a delivery. It's across the face of goal, and Dale Schroeder was scrambling. Now orange shirt ready to touch it home. Hayashi. Ashlyn Miller. Angle ball from Hayashi. Stevenson goes down under two challenges. A whistle arrives from Rachel Mitchinson, and Zog launches into the distance, and this may well hold up very nicely for the cantering run of Megan Wynn, who keeps going. Megan Wynn. That's the continued battle. The Glory attackers to get it either side of the goalkeeper in this game. Here's its head again. Listen to Stephen Peters' post-match press conferences. He will often be quick to point out the offensive profligacy that has hampered his side this season. Just the 18 goals scored in the Ninja A-League this year. Great turn that from Janssen. The ball not quite matching the quality of the swivel. Dale Schroeder, not a total stranger to Perth Glory. She's been training on and off with the squad even before she signed this last-minute deal. As that ball breaks the way of Badawia. Gabby Hollar's the player inside. Hollar took a little deflection. That means the same end results. Got to be claimed by Chloe Lincoln. touch from Amy Medwin in the end, all important. Medwin has been an all-important player for the Roar this season. Most touches of any player in Alex Smith's side this year. Since signing from Western United, been quite a shrewd pickup. Facing her former teammate tonight in Julia Sardo. Medwin forward for Tish Woods. Perth have had all the attacking traffic. But those 4 shots on target have all been easy pickings for Chloe Lincoln so far. Angie Beard. A looping ball that will be comfortably handled by former teammate as well in Julia Sardo. A bit of a Western United theme out there this evening. That's well done by Perth. Grace Johnston going on a marauding run and releasing Megan Wynn as advantage is played by the referee. Wynn driving forward, cross not totally cleared by Brisbane. And Butterweir will get it back at the second time of asking. Sardo's delivery, Cuthbert's well away. Hayashi dropping deep to try and move the magnets for Brisbane Roar in the advent of what is her 31st birthday today, Momo Hayashi. I'd love to celebrate with taking the Roar one step closer to a potential push into the finals. It's coming the other way at the moment though. Sardo. Zog. Those two making such a difference to the strength of Perth Glory's backline, which, for all their attacking difficulties this year, has been fairly solid. 6 clean sheets, 24 goals conceded. Sardo's absence felt in the last couple of weeks. Olivia Wood played in her place last week. She'd never started in the Ninja A-League before that. She's going to make her way into the penalty box now for another Perth Glory corner. They have started this game much in the way Stephen Peters would have hoped. Emma Tovar's radar has been solid so far, even if Roar have been equal to the task. In comes the corner, and it's well wide in the end. There's the final touch off a Perth Glory head. That's the decision of Rachel Mitchinson. Just a glancing blow, nothing that could be guided towards the goal of Chloe Lincoln. No doubt would have returned from that Asian Cup campaign all the better for it. So she got a lot of advice from Mackenzie Arnold after coming in as an injury replacement for Tegan Micah. How good is that football from Brisbane Roar? Forward to Kaya Stevenson, who's a bit of a lone hand in attack at the moment. It's into a bit of a cul-de-sac of Perth Glory players, and will have to content herself with a corner. Reward for some fancy football from the Roar. First real test coming the way of Ninja A-League debutant Dale Schroeder. Saw Kai Stevenson, saw the touch came off Georgia Cassidy. Just thought, sort of the situation, I'll take what I'm offered. Which is this corner. Sent in by Angie Beard, headed to the front post, off the underside of the crossbar and in. It's a breakthrough for Brisbane Roar in this crucial clash. And it's Amy Medwin who heads home from the corner to bring Spencer Park to its feet. What a precious opening goal for the Roar. And what a delightful corner delivery from Angie Beard. Headed home by Amy Medwin for her first in Roar colours. And you cannot pick much of a better time to get your first for a new club than that. Amy Medwin on the mark. And with their first shot on target, Brisbane Roar hit the front in this pivotal pre-finals bout. Has that lifted the confidence of the Roar? Tish Woods into the penalty area she goes. Bente Janssen, the ball just forced her to backtrack. Studer trying to pick the gap for Miller. Oh, that will be a bitter pill to swallow for Stephen Peters, because that stat tells a very damning story of their efficiency. 4 shots on target to the Roar's 1. Aside from the Sunshine State with their first major opportunity converts. It's another latest chapter in the battle between Tish Woods and Isabel Dalton. It's not great news for Perth Glory. They have only come back once this season to win, having conceded the opening goal of a game. Albeit that was a couple of weeks ago, away to the Jets. And they came back from a goal down twice to ultimately win that game 3-2 in the final 10 minutes. So Stephen Peters will be pointing to that lucid evidence that they can find a way back into this contest. Megan Wynn is just a bit too hot and heavy for the liking of Rachel Mitchinson. Just the third goal of Amy Medwin's 60-game Ninja A-League career. First since the 21st of January last year. That goal coming for Western United against, you guessed it, Perth Glory. Certainly got a favourite opponents in the Ninja A-League, does the Tasmanian. That's a poor pass from Cassidy. Can't be punished by Ashlyn Miller. Studer just gaining some meterage up the sideline. She's really bedded herself into this Raw starting side as the season's gone on. Starting appearance in a row for the American, formerly of the Carolina Ascent. No shortage of American imports out there at Spencer Park this evening. Zog A searching ball that just bounces past the grasp of Gabby Holler. That flick on has worked out rather well in the end. Grace Johnston, big deflection. It'll be a corner for Perth Glory. It's an element that Grace Johnston has brought into her game more this season. Willingness to get forward and get involved in attacking phases. Persistence has paid off in the form of another Perth Glory corner. Can the visitors give Brisbane a taste of their own medicine? For the delivery from Tovar. Edwin first to it. Cassidy or McKenna, and then the secondary effort blazed over the bar by Oni Zog. Well defended that time by Amy Medwin. The contact not the most convincing from Tian McKenna. And then it was blazed away by Oni Zog. Foul conceded by Megan Wynn. A direct one-to-one matchup with Amy Medwin has been a pretty tempestuous affair so far. All in good spirits. Two competitors out there on Perth Glory's right attacking flank. It's Medwin who will wear the smile so far, having scored the opener. Turn from Tian McKenna. How do Perth Glory respond to the, not just the advent of going behind in this game, but the frustration of that failure to find a finishing touch coming back to haunt them in the opening 26 minutes? What a touch that is from Kaya Stevenson. And will she get it ahead of McKenna? She won't. Dale Schroeder able to launch the ball into the night sky. That's beautiful from Hayashi. So too is that. Miller perhaps wasn't on the same wavelength as her Japanese teammate. She had to sort of jump her way over the ball to try and latch onto it. Dalton. Holla played a pass to no one in particular. That time, Megan Wynn, well, that's a spot she's usually been in so far in this game, but not on that particular occasion. Nicely done by Bente Janssen. Kaya Stevenson has it taken off her toes. Dalton keeps it alive. Perth Glory just looking to regain some of that control they had prior to Amy Medwin's opening goal from the corner. Tian McKenna. Just a little bit too much meat on it, denying an otherwise clever little line breaker from the 21-year-old who's to play about every position except for an attack for Perth Glory this season. The midfielder in her natural position today, but she's playing at centre-back last week in the absence of Oni Zog. She's filled the full-back slots. She's been a real bright point for Perth this season. Most of the tasks she's been asked to do, she's been equal to them. As Holler just twists and turns on the football. Win. A hopeful cross has Tovar chasing. And it's comfortably dealt with by Josie Studer. Miller guides the ball up the line. Kaya Stevenson muscled in on by Cassidy. We've got the answers at the moment in midfield. Showing a bit of additional experience and quality that Glory at the moment are struggling to find. They will get a free kick here though. A yellow card coming the way of Tish Woods. And something for Alex Smith to think about. 30 minutes in pretty early to find your way into the referee's pocketbook. Yellow cards, of course, will be a very sore point for the Brisbane Roar manager, given those recent developments that saw Seidel suspended for this game. Hasn't hampered the Roar too much so far, though. Woods breaks the lines beautifully for Ashlyn Miller. Well defended at the first instance by Tian McKenna. Miller gets the ball in anyway, headed by Hayashi. He is saved by Dale Schroeder. It's a confidence booster for the 24-year-old debutante. Hayashi, not the player you expect on the pitch to get up and amongst the aerial duels and get headers on goal, but well, sometimes I guess it's the people you least expect who can cause the most danger. She did score a header earlier this season against Sydney FC. Go with one of her more customary long-range bangers. No whistle from the referee. Play continues, and Bente Janssen feeds Ashlyn Miller. Stevenson's first-time effort. Will this sit up for Studer? It won't. Well judged by Dale Schroeder. Can you imagine what is going through her thoughts? Oh, that's a poor turnover. Hayashi! It's a goal for the birthday star. 31 years of age. And Momo Hayashi marks the occasion with a second for Brisbane Roar of the evening. And it feels like one massive step in their quest for finals football. A poor turnover from Perth Glory. Cassidy caught on the hop at the top of the box. And Momo Hayashi with the captain's armband made absolutely no mistake from the top of the penalty area. An emphatic finish. And Brisbane Roar, despite their absentees, in spite of the pre-match controversy, find themselves 2 goals to the good at Spencer Park. Nice work from Badawia. Perth will really be wanting to get one back quickly in this game. Those are goals that have made the live ladder very interesting. It's a free kick coming the way of Brisbane Roar. As things stand, those 2 goals and 3 points in the bag send Brisbane Roar up to 5th, leapfrogging both the Central Coast Mariners and Melbourne Victory. So they would put themselves in a great position, of course. Cannot forget there is still a lot of football left to be played in this game, and Brisbane have not always been the most assured in defence this season. There's still plenty to play for at Spencer Park. It will put them in good stead ahead of that final game against Canberra United next week. Of course, Melbourne Victory and Central Coast Mariners could both return back to being above Brisbane should they win their games this weekend. The Roar are looking to make a statement. What a ball from Bente Janssen. Ashlyn Miller pulls the effort wide. Would have been a very handy third for the Roar, just past the half-hour mark, but not to be for Ashlyn Miller. This is ingenious stuff, though, from Bente Janssen. The right foot, trying to blast it into the bottom left corner. Perhaps when she watches back the tape, the midweek match review, might have considered going with the left foot, even if it is the non-preferred. Well turned by Tovar, who will be hoping to potentially join Angie Beard at the Women's World Cup next year. She has been called into camps by the Philippines in years previous, yet to make her senior debut for the side coached by former Western United manager Mark Torcaso. She's fallen victim to the commentator's curse here because she's gone down right around the halfway mark of the pitch. Discomfort in that quad. I don't think Stephen Peters needs any more headaches. This is the reason why she's in such discomfort. You can see Momo Hayashi just lunging in to try and win the ball. Might have just corked that quad of Emma Tovar. Back to her feet though, which is great to see. Perth, like Brisbane, have had their injury troubles this season. Of course, without Matt Tatham, Susan Fonsonkamp. Fonsonkamp's been out since before the Asian Cup break, and Naomi Chinema has been sidelined with an ankle injury since the early rounds of the season. Tish Woods, who's, it's a case of the universe evening itself out, perhaps, who's given out her fair share this evening. She's gone into the book, she gets one back. This time, a 22-year-old. Really made herself into one of the standout defensive midfielders in the Ninja A-League in the last couple of seasons. Win inside to Tovar, whose footwork is fantastic. And again, this is a great run from Emma Tovar, but Badawia offside. Technical ability, Emma Tovar, there for all to see. It's I wonder that she does have just the one goal and no assist to her name this season. No bones about it. Perth Glory in a bit of a pickle at the present moment. They were the team that needed the 3 points even more than Brisbane this evening. Got a fair road ahead of them if they are to find it. Cassidy, is it robbed off her by Stevenson, and she's scythed down the Raw midfielder. And the West Australian can have very little complaints about the caution that followed thereafter. It was just an expression of frustration. Cassidy felt like she was getting very little from her teammates, and in the anger just went for a clip. It's a pretty open and shut case for Rachel Mitchinson. Tish Woods to bring the dead ball to life on a very tight angle. It was like a corner, but brought in by several meters. What can Woods do here? Woods clips the ball in, headed away and helped on its way by Wynn. Janssen, long-range effort from Myers is stopped by a player in the purple and white of glory. And Myers has stopped their attack in its tracks. A foul. Two hands in the back. Pretty open and shut case. Grace Johnston looking to link up with Gabby Holler, who's able to break away momentarily from Medwin. The likes of the Mariners and Victory will have keen interest in this fixture. As Victory played Perth in the final round. Got the Big Blue coming up in New South Wales tomorrow as McKenna gets to the byline, is shoved down. But not in a way that Rachel Mitchinson saw any issue with. Shoulder to shoulder, you can make your own mind up at home. It's been a bruising area of the pitch so far. At midfield third, Hayashi, Woods and Kaya Stevenson. That has been a very uncompromising triumvirate so far. 5 minutes to play in the first half. Brisbane Roar have been ruthless in front of their home fans. Home fans who they are looking to bring finals football back to for the first time since 2021. Beard. Come back by Tovar. She's been bright for Perth. Georgia Cassidy. Perth could really use a goal before the break. Not going to get it that time around. It trickles out of play before Ola Badawia can reach it. Take much away from the quality of Raw's delivery for the corner that opened the scoring, but Perth with largely only themselves to blame for that Momo Hayashi second. Well, Dale Schroeder has made a couple of saves. You can only imagine the difference that the absence of Teresa Morrissey is making, not just in terms of pure shot stopping, but also how that defence in front of her is organised and dealing with the threats that she's able to see better than most from her position. When it comes to unavailable players and late absentees, Brisbane Roar will be playing a very small violin. Holler. Izzy Dalton. What can she conjure against her former side? Badawia. Stores the ball to Dalton. Now Sado comes in to break it up. Defended well to this point. Studer getting in a tangle with Badawia. And it's the American of Perth Glory who is not best pleased to see this particular tussle go against her. Launch forward by Lincoln. Back to Johnston. Wynn is making the run wide. That is where the ball will travel. Can she conjure an enterprising cross? Takes a touch. It nearly sits for Holler. And it's cleared away. Safety first by Angie Beard. Brisbane Roar not quite dealing with that situation in the way that they would have liked. It's a swing and a miss from Ruby Cuthbert. 19-year-old in the heart of Raw's defence this season. Defence that has conceded more goals than any more in the Ninja A-League this year. 36 going into tonight. It's a good corner ball. It's Medwin with the header clear once again. Will be coming back in though from Perth. Tovar, good header but wide from Sato. Stop me if you've heard it before. It's a tantalising delivery. Not quite met with the pinpoint efficiency that Perth are both hoping for and need. Bente Janssen just stormed in and made the ball her own. 1 minute added on by the fourth official. Can Perth pull one back in that 1 minute of stoppage time? Cassidy tried to work the angle. Ashlyn Miller loses out. Badawea doesn't have much in the way of options, but found the only one that was presenting in Sato. Dalton breaking around one, can't break free of a second. A little period of sustained pressure before the break from Perth. Then re-engaging with Medwin, and the corner awarded for Perth Glory. They have been racking them up without profits. And this, you suspect, will be their last chance to give Brisbane Roar something to think about going into the break. Goal that they desperately need. They've been pressing for. Is this the time for Tovar? It's another good ball. And on the second effort, Sato, big deflection, roof of the net. Second corner in quick succession on the way for Perth. And just dropped for Sato, and the deflection off Bente Janssen was an agonising watch for those in the Spencer Park grandstand. And the danger is not done. Tovar's ball in, Sato lurking again, Perth pull one back. And Julia Sato is straight back from injury and onto the score sheet. And the Glory have the goal they so desperately need before the halftime interval. And right before Rachel Mitchinton's whistle sounds, it's game on at Spencer Park, and it's the player who in the last few minutes had looked most likely. Julia Sato just wanted it more than anyone else in the penalty area. And we have got a game on our hands at Spencer Park. Brisbane Roar raced out of the blocks in this must-win penultimate round clash between two finals hopefuls. Goals from Amy Medwin and Momo Hayashi had them sitting pretty. Perth have pulled one back before the break, setting us up for a massive second 45 to come. Julia Sato has given the visiting side some hope. A massive second half to come. Brisbane Roar 2, Perth Glory 1. Plenty of highlights to take a look back at from the first half. 3 goals in the opening 45 minutes. So 45 minutes that Perth Glory did start the brighter. That not Tian McKenna's best effort, but they did have a number of opportunities to test Chloe Lincoln, but many of them ended up in exactly that spot, right down the throats of Chloe Lincoln. Megan Wynn was a handful for Amy Medwin. And that was the repeat theme until this corner broke the game wide open. A perfect delivery from Angie Beard, obliged by Amy Medwin, her first goal in Raw colours, to hand the hosts an opener at home. And that sparked the Raw into life, really. Ashlyn Miller found a nice ball inside for Momo Hayashi. And if she wasn't going to get it done from the head, well, she got it done the way that she knows best. The powerful efforts into the bottom left corner. Perth Glory punished with aplomb on the Japanese midfielder's 31st birthday. And it could have been more. This will be a chance that Brisbane Roar will look back on. Bente Janssen, a beautiful line breaker, and Ashlyn Miller blazed away. And that's the goal that's got the game back on at Spencer Park. Julia Sato heading home. A much needed route back into the contest for Stephen Peters. And you can see it's a goal that they richly deserve. They have had the vast majority of the shots and the possession. The profligacy has been hunting them. Can they change that in the second 45? It is a massive second half to come on the other side of the break. Welcome back to Spencer Park. A massive penultimate round clash between Brisbane Roar and Perth Glory has Brisbane Roar in front. Chloe Lincoln on her return from Matilda's duty. Oh, she's been very busy so far, most of it easy work, but there's been plenty to do since coming back from the Matildas. We'll have a chance to hear from her now.
Oh my gosh, I didn't really know how to feel. It was like all the emotions, I guess, and it was nice. Like, the girls were so supportive, trying to help the team as much as I could. I know it sounds silly, so probably don't need my help, but just trying to like communicate, stay in the game, sort of stay out of my head, and just play how I normally would, treat it like another game. As much as it really wasn't, it was definitely a big occasion, but I guess that's just what you have to do sometimes to keep the nerves at bay. I don't know, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, I feel like. Yeah, one I'm very grateful for, and as much as I didn't really imagine it happening like it has, I think the work that these girls and girls across Australia are putting week in, week out to try and grow the game, the supporters and, you know, the people that work at clubs, volunteers, things like that. Yeah, feeling very, very grateful to be a part of this sort of generation post-World Cup where it's taken off like it has. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Such a great opportunity for the young star to be part of that campaign, and she's potentially going to be part of a finals campaign if this keeps going for Brisbane. They're ahead 2-1 at the halftime break, but plenty to come across the Ninja A-League weekend. The Big Blue coming up on Saturday, and the Mariners against Canberra on Sunday. Big clashes in the finals race. But here at Spencer Park, Brisbane Roar are in the lead, courtesy of 2 first-half goals for them. 3 total in the match. This was the goal that got it all started, somewhat against the flow. A fantastic header from Amy Medwin, her first goal in Roar colours. Got the party started before Momo Hayashi with a birthday present for her. And then the corner, Julia Sato finally getting her first goal in the Ninja A-League to pull the Brisbane Roar back. All-important goal for the Perth Glory. And a player who knows a thing or two about that is Susan Fonson-Cam. Let's get a free kick masterclass from her.
Sits her eyes and not sure what's bothering her at the moment, but Fonson-Cam tees up and gets the goal! Susan Fonson-Cam! What an effort! Doubles the lead for Perth Glory!
My thing is that if the keeper doesn't see the contact, the point of contact of your feet, like hitting the ball, then you have a more likely chance to score a 1 over the walls. But I say if you just able to practice getting the whip on the ball, getting it to curl away from the keeper once it like goes over the wall, then that's probably the best advice I can give.
Got the pace, got the curl, and got it to turn away from Shan Karmas. What a great strike.
And it just takes a lot of practice. It just doesn't happen overnight, unfortunately. Honestly, the way I like to explain it is just like painting a quick stroke, like a brush, and that's just like from your toe to the ball and just feeling the ball all the way through to get that whip. But I usually just put like a ball that I'm gonna take and then another ball just beside it, and just try not to hit the second ball.
Fonson-Cam says thank you very much. I will take that and I will add a goal to my stats.
I hope you're keeping notes. Some valuable tips for the Ninja A-League stars of the future there from Susan Fonson-Cam. The kids are happy. And of course, don't forget that you can start your Ninja A-League card collection, the Ninja A-League Women's Digital Heroes. They are free to collect today. You can head to aleagues.com.au to sign up. 7 complimentary player cards will be coming your way, and you'll go into the draw to win one of 3 prizes. So you can get signed up during the break, because a big second 45 awaits on the other side. A season-defining half between Brisbane Roar and Perth Glory. will strap in for a massive 45 at Spencer Park between Brisbane Roar and Perth Glory. Julia Sato's first goal in the Ninja A-League after 71 appearances, one of the longest waits in the competition, has brought her side back into this must-win match in the Sunshine State. You could see what it meant for her, and her reward is, well, to be subbed off at half-time, Julia Sato. She's only recently coming back from a calf injury, so Ella Abdul-Masih has come on in her place in a match that Perth Glory will need to go chasing. They will not be eliminated this evening should they lose this game, but if the Mariners and the Melbourne Victory are to win this weekend, that would be that. So failure tonight does not put a line through them, but they will be nervously waiting on the results elsewhere. It is very likely that the chance of finals football for these two sides in 25-26 lies in the 45 minutes ahead at Spencer Park. Brisbane Roar in the lead, courtesy of goals from Amy Medwin and Momo Hayashi. It is a lead they will look to hold on to. It's the biggest 45 minutes of Perth Glory and Brisbane Roar's season so far gets underway at Spencer Park. 45 all-important minutes in what has been a razor-thin race for the top 6 spots. There's confirmation of that substitution. Ella Abdul-Masih, the 19-year-old, coming onto the field, having made her own return from injury last week. She's been out since the 31st of May 2025, and she injured her ankle playing New South Wales NPL for NWS Spirits. Her last game against the Brisbane Roar, a stoppage time free kick to win it late. And a come from behind win for Perth. Can they conjure up something similar this evening? Are they going to need to? Could be a really frustrating time to concede right before the break. It does often conjure a bit of a pivot in team talks. It's the difference between Brisbane Roar sitting with a nice little 2-goal insurance policy and having a game on their hands, and a Perth Glory side who will have to play with nothing to lose, even though they have everything to lose if this game goes as it currently sits. Badawia setting herself to get on the end of this very deep set piece. It's coming in from Georgia Cassidy. It's really nicely shaped as well. Win. McKenna. Heading back for Zog. With that red card away to Adelaide a fortnight ago notwithstanding, usually keeps a fairly calm head in defence for Perth Glory. It's the side in both clears and blocks. She's been a pivotal part of a defence that has only conceded 26 goals this season. It's the attack that's been the sticking point. Megan Wynn looking to do something about that. Gets a good ball in, it's swerved away. And it sits for Holla. Emma Tovar scrapping and battling to keep it alive. Badawia now. Badawia gets the ball inside, it's spilled in! It's Perth parity! They have pulled it back from 2 goals down to draw level. It is not a moment that Chloe Lincoln will look back on with any fondness. But Rolla Badawea has made her mark against Brisbane again. And this mammoth matchup in the race for the top 6 is back on and back square. It's tough viewing if you're a Brisbane Roar fan. Badawea's effort a bit betwixt and between, a cross and a shot. And Chloe Lincoln on her return from Matilda's duty just did not deal with it as desired. And it's game on. Janssen! Oh, that was nearly an incredible instant response from the Roar. And so Alex Smith, he was joking last week about how dangerous this Ninja A-League campaign has been for his heart rate. It will be in overdrive on the sideline at the moment. This was a lovely stinging drive from Benty Anton. A decent save from Dale Schroeder as well, who, if you missed the first half, was a last-minute starter in place of Teresa Morrissey. He's sitting on the bench, but is sitting on the bench nursing an injury. Well, hats off to Perth Glory. When they turn the ball over at the top of their penalty area to allow Momo Hayashi to make it 2-0 to Brisbane. There would have been some thinking that that might have been that, but for now their attention turns to their captain, Isabel Dalton. There was a lot of concerned looks on the faces of her Perth Glory teammates, and the early evidence does not inspire hope and confidence at all. Rolla Badawea is asking the question of whether or not there should be more sanction for the tackle that sent Izzy Dalton down to the deck. It was a high boot from Tish Woods, who of course is on a card in that. From that first half, she picks it up around the half-hour mark. That's the case that Rolla Badawea is making, but the rest of her teammates fully focused on Izzy Dalton, for whom there is serious concern on the halfway line at Spencer Park. They would not want to lose their captain at such a critical juncture of the season, their reigning player of the year. You see a player catch their studs on the turf and clutch at their knee, you always get very concerned. She's back onto her feet and walking off under her own steam, which does give us a bit of promise. So now Perth continue on with 10. Dalton back onto the field, so that is a source of great relief, because the initial signs there did not look good at all. As Wynn is going to be picked out at an offside position. And this game has gotten really interesting in the space of a handful of minutes either side of the break. Took Perth Glory 4 in-match minutes to go from 2-0 down to 2-2. They pulled that goal back through Julia Sato with actually the final kick of the first half. And now they're playing with the bit between their teeth. That was a delightful ball, and Badawea will latch onto it from Dalton. Standing up tall and standing up to be counted was Studer that time. hands full with Rolla Badawea so far. I believe has been credited with that goal that came somewhat dangerously and or devastatingly for Brisbane off the palms of Chloe Lincoln. Badawea's third goal against the Raw. All time. Home and away for Perth, and a couple of seasons ago back when she was in Mariners colours as well. Brisbane have got the chance to show what sort of stern stuff they're made out of. Ashlyn Miller. Breaking into open space, tantalising ball, and just past the reach of Bente Janssen. Myers concedes the free kick, a bit of pressure relief and stress relief for Perth Glory defence. Watching on nervously as Ashlyn Miller put that ball, this ball, in for Bente Janssen. She wasn't far away. The Dutch woman, of course, one of her 2 goals against Perth this season was a headed goal. This is the foul. One of a number of nippy ones, albeit minor this evening. Perth have away more fouls than any side in the Ninja A-League this season, but both teams have given as good as they've gotten this evening as Lincoln launches it clear. Dale Schroeder. One of these two sides got in the locker. And it's a turnover here. Stevenson! That's what they've got in the locker. A fantastic goal from Kaya Stevenson, and Brisbane Roar take back the lead in style. 3-2 Brisbane Roar, and we haven't even hit the hour mark. Third of the season for Kaya Stevenson. And that's as good as any, just lifts it over the top of Dale Schroeder. Great tackle from Tish Woods to make it so, and Stevenson did not think twice. And one of these Queensland talents in the Roar 11 has helped to put the Brisbane Roar back in grip of a 3 points that would do their finals push no harm whatsoever. It's that familiar sinking feeling for Perth Glory. They have got to go and climb the mountain again. But wonder if it's asking a lot of a game that's already delivered 5 goals in 55 minutes, but I have to wonder if there is more on the way. Perth are going to have to go for this hammer and tong. Brisbane's reputation as one of the most entertaining teams to watch in the Ninja A-League. Continuing to the final round. Dalton. Wynn restores the ball back to her. It's a fired ball that was dealt with in the end by Medwin. To credit the bounce back ability of Brisbane as well. They would have had the air sucked out of their sails. And that ball spilled off the fingertips of Chloe Lincoln for 2-2. Perth's problem is just the one goal in this game. Not enough. Lots of shifting permutations on this Ninja A-League table. Melbourne Victory and the Mariners will be enjoying the chaos. Win checks back onto the left, just runs out of puff in the end. Dalton can't keep that alive. A smile on the face of Megan Wynn, who's probably just enjoying being able to play as much football as she is. She's had to wait so long to get back out there on the pitch. Might have seen her on the sidelines during her ACL recovery. She was Perth Glory's team manager. Often the person tasked with submitting their team sheets. Schroeder. A switch of play that's a risky one for Badawia. Hayashi looking to lob the keeper, but it's not quite the desired effect from Momo Hayashi. Some players, you'd be looking at that and saying, what are you thinking? But anyone who's watched Momo Hayashi knows she's got that in the locker. Abdul Masih. Options to aim at. Masih looks to go herself, and perhaps not the right option in the end from the teenager. Perth, Stephen Peters. He's going to keep playing his cards. It's a double sub on the way. Looks like O'Donoghue and Charlie Wainwright, the two players who will be introduced at the next opportunity. Dalton. Just wonder if Megan Wynn, having gotten through an hour of football, just more minutes than she's played combined since her comeback, might be one of the players on the way out. The first is Rolla Badawia making way. So Megan Wynn won't be leaving. It's Georgia Cassidy and Rolla Badawia who exits.
Jack, you have 2 balls. Jack, 2 balls.
Getting a hearty handshake and appreciation from the bench. There's Charlie Wainwright, who will step straight into midfield for Georgia Cassidy. Two players who have been teammates both nationally and locally. And for Perth Azzurri as well. Sarah O'Donoghue, it's a homecoming to Queensland for her. She grew up in the Sunshine State, played her first Inter A-League games with the Brisbane Roar a couple of seasons ago. These are the players Stephen Peters is trusting to find a way back into this game. McKenna rides the challenge of Janssen and threads the needle for Johnston, but the pass was always favouring the Raw defence. Stephen Peters' side, they are just looking for a way back in, looking for a way on top. It could be not mathematically, but close to eliminated, even with a draw this evening. And there's not going to be any attacking on the way here. Izzy Dalton has brought down Tish Woods. Those two who have been at each other's heels all evening. See, it's that little bites that has incited the ire of Rachel Mitchinson. Free kick in an interesting position for Brisbane Roar. It's a fair way out from goal. It's a bit of an awkward angle, rather central, but we know what Momo Hayashi can do. Will it be Momo Hayashi is the question. It is going to be Momo Hayashi, deflected and in! You can't ask for a better 31st birthday than this. 2 moments of Momo magic. And Brisbane Roar go 2 clear again, courtesy of their Japanese captain. Well, the Spencer Park crowd bayed for the free kick, and with the aid of the deflection, their wishes were granted. A double touch off McKenna and Abdul Masi that wrong-footed Dale Schroeder. Momo Hayashi is having a night to remember in the Ninja A-League. And more to the point, Brisbane Roar have put themselves back into a authoritative grip of this contest. Perth will be coming back from a long way in the tail of the field now. But you would have said that at 2-0 down. The amount of time left in the game is less. The margin is the same as the one they've already overcome. Medwin to the byline, inviting cross on the follow-up. It's saved by Schroeder. Alex Smith, well, that reaction says it all. Just fell for Tish Woods, the hometown hero, to make the headlines. Put the effort straight at Dale Schroeder. Sent in by Woods. Hayashi, who's on a hat-trick, leapt for the header. What she lacks in natural verticality, she makes up for with that leap. She's frustrated about it too.
Keep on this. If it comes out.
9 goals in the Ninja A-League now for Momo Hayashi, and this her 34th appearance. Critical juncture of this game. The next goal decides what comes next. Angie Beards, ball in, Studer's header. Away from danger for Perth Glory. Ripping ball in from Angie Beard. The set-piece deliveries from both sides have been on point this evening. Brisbane's set pieces have made the difference so far, and I fancied that round of applause. It was a signal of a very exciting substitution to come. And Momo Hayashi will hand the captain's armband back to Tamika Yallop. Kira Myers is the player who comes off. As Tamika Yallop makes just the third appearance since her return from that devastating hamstring injury. Gabby Holler has been replaced by Misha Anderson. She's going to be joined on the bench by Megan Wynn. And Perth Glory's super sub, Stephen Peters' favourite substitute player, Ella Lincoln, off the pine for a 14th time. But what an ace in the hole that is for Alex Smith to have to bring on a living Brisbane Roar legend, and it could get even better here. Stevenson just lacked the desired purchase to grab her second goal of the evening. A real baptism of fire for Dale Schroeder. Not in her wildest of dreams would have been anticipating playing this game tonight. Injury for Teresa Morrissey in the warm-up. Haven't seen too much of Sarah O'Donoghue so far. It's a facial expression that, I say, pictures tell 1,000 words. Come as close as just about any season. This season, Perth Glory in their quest to return to the finals for the first time since 2019. Stevenson can't get the beating of Dale Schroeder again. For all the noise that's been made about Brisbane Roar's finals drought, Perth Glory's stretches back even longer. 7 seasons since they made the grand final. South Kerr's final season in the Ninja A-League, and they went down to Sydney FC. Other than Wellington, who have never made the finals, albeit set to change that, it is the longest finals drought in the Ninja A-League. The chances of ending it are 19 minutes away from being dealt a near fatal blow. Schroeder launches away. Misha Anderson. Brought down by Ashla Miller, who shapes to shoots, but get that effort on target and pick out the far corner. Wainwright. Dalton stayed on side despite the protestations of Brisbane Roar. Woods upended. Rachel Mitchinson quick to whistle. Just looking at the foul again. Too many complaints from Mela Abdulmasi, fairly blatant. And even if it would only improve their odds marginally, does need to find something and fast in this game. Good news for them is Mariners and Victory both to play still this weekend. Their results not assured. And Perth will play Victory in the final round. So if you're a Glory fan watching in the early hours of your evening in WA, you're going to be a Canberra United and Sydney FC supporter for the rest of the weekend. So Mariners and Victory need to drop points. Perth would take a point at this juncture. O'Donoghue. On to Ella Lincoln. Be an interesting final 15 if Perth pull one back. Tian McKenna. Do deserve credits for the fight back they did show to pull it back to 2-2, and never easy to lose your star goalkeeper at the last moment, but context is not a factor reflected in the history books. Right now the history books are going to reflect well on Brisbane Roar in this game as it stands. Good tackle from Misha Anderson. Childhood Glory fan who's enjoyed a nice little breakout season in the Ninja A-League and first few starts after debuting last season. Stevenson, lovely pirouette, nearly pulled it off again. Hayashi. To find a gap where there wasn't one. Perth's numbers proved pivotal in the end. Anderson has been a really committed defender since coming on. For her coach will be, she's doing a little bit too much defending at the present moment. It's given back to Yallop, to Mika Yallop. Brought through the legs of the Perth Glory defence. A brilliant scoring record against Perth does to Mickey Yallop. 10 goals against the Glory. 3 in the last 3 games, head-to-head. Lincoln takes the ball in stride. Tish Woods. Another tenacious tackle. Lincoln fashions a cross in anyway. As good as their set-piece deliveries have been, Perth, those crosses have often proved hard to beat the first player. And this is not what any Glory fan would want to see at all. Dale Schroeder down on the turf clutching at the hamstring. Perth have already lost Teresa Morrissey to a warm-up injury. They only signed Dale Schroeder so that she could fill a gap on their bench after injuries to Jess Skinner and Meg Phillips. Hopefully that is just a cramp for the Ninja A-League debutants. Well, let's have a look back at the 6 goals in the first 55 minutes of football here at Spencer Park. The first falling the way of Brisbane Roar through Amy Medwin, who helped the home side on the way to a 2-0 win. Momo Hayashi, or a 2-0 lead I should say. Momo Hayashi extending the advantage. And this was the goal that set us up for a massive second 45. Julia Sato pulled one back before the break, and 4 minutes out of it. An error from Chloe Lincoln allowed Rolla Badawia to score. Roar flex their muscle with a couple of moments of quality from range. Kaya Stevenson And then Momo Hayashi bagging a brace with the aid of a deflection. Plenty to like if you're a neutral fan, plenty to like if you're a Brisbane Roar fan. Not so much to smile about if you're of a purple persuasion. Just saw the strapping on the leg of Teresa Morrissey. She's been playing so good this season. She was even training with the Matildas in camp when they were in WA. It's the kind of year that she's had. That's how much Perth are hurting in her absence. Johnston. Zog has thrown her body forward. Yallop trying to shield it. It's still alive in the box for Perth and picked up by Zog. But she can't make anything of it. A goal kick for Brisbane. Tamika Yallop. Brisbane Roar all-time appearance maker and goal scorer, showing her commitment to the cause here. She was caught in a glory sandwich. That did enough to deny any opportunity for Perth. Good to see her back after that devastating hamstring injury earlier in the season away to Adelaide. Scuppered her hopes of playing in an Asian Cup on home soil. Still ultimately a big part of the Asian Cup in the broadcast sense. Launched up the alley by Grace Johnston, but to no avail. 10 minutes to go between Brisbane Roar and a priceless 3 points in their quest for finals football. A result that would send them to 5th on the live ladder and would heap the pressure on the Mariners and Melbourne Victory across the rest of the weekend. Charlie Wainwright, Abdul Masih. Perth are starting to throw a few more numbers forward this time, but Cuthbert clears. Switch of play finds Zog. Perth pressing forward, Zog going for it. Not to be for the Swiss-born Nigerian international. Lincoln, you can almost see the relief on her face that Rolla Badawia goal for 2-2 is now a distant memory. If you're a neutral observer, you're probably hoping that Brisbane can sneak into the finals. Their games are usually full of goals. 34 scored this season, 38 conceded. As Lincoln will smother that up. It's picked off by Brisbane. Tamika Yallop. Ashlyn Miller. Now Brisbane Roar would love a 5th. Miller on the turn. Drags it in the end. Can't say she hasn't had her chances for a 4th of the season, Ashlyn Miller. A goal that would make it 83 in Brisbane Roar matches this season. It's 13 more than the next nearest team, the Newcastle Jets. Tightness of the table means that even if a few results go their way this weekend, the job is not done. That clash against Canberra in the final rounds will be a mammoth one. Miller, well battled by Dalton. She's been a warrior in midfield for her side this evening. Expect nothing less from the captain. It's going to be pulled back all the way home to Dale Schroeder. The wrong side of the line for Glory to keep it in. Tian McKenna. So they had the answer to the first 2-goal deficit. But thus far, overcoming the second has proved itself to be a tricky task to this point. But 1 goal back relights that spark of hope. Abdul Masih, well marshalled by Momo Hayashi. It's a skew with switch that is going to sit up for Sarah O'Donoghue. Dalton. O'Donoghue can hit them and did, but quite as much venom as Sarah O'Donoghue is capable of. The technique was there for all to see. Now Ruby Cuthbert is down on the deck. It's some bit part physio work from Ashlyn Miller. And the real help is on the way. The good and proper treatment for a teenager who's been busy this evening. She may well be about to be replaced by a fellow talented young defender in Eva Piazza. It's been tough fare for the Raw defence this evening, who they've only conceded 2, have had to deal with a lot more pressure than that. And that is going to be the end of Ruby Cuthbert's evening. Eva Piazza onto the field for a 13th appearance of the season. It's the club for whom she got her Brisbane Roar debut against back in round 2. That was a 5-goal thrill. This has been a 6. The end results set to be the same. The importance of the points, a very different story. Bente Janssen, printed by Misha Anderson. There's multiple different infractions that Rachel Mitchinson could have pulled that one up for. In any case, the Raw launch forward to no avail. Hayashi, intricate pass. Stevenson wanted to find a teammate. She may still get the ball, Kaya Stevenson, but off the line swiftly. Dale Schroeder. Johnston. Let's turn that over rather carelessly. Hayashi. At this point, Janssen may head for the corner, or Daroa wants a fifth. In any case, play continues, but Brisbane Roar have really switched on since restoring their lead. Perth have found it very hard to muster attacking opportunities and even work the ball out of their defensive end. And the Roar's decision to push this game back by an hour to allow more fans to attend has paid dividends. We're getting word of a 2,000 plus crowd in the house at Spencer Park this evening. Those 2,000 plus of set to get what they came for. What a sight that is. Spencer Park's grandstand full to the brim with fans. So many young faces as well. And Perth Glory set us up for a grandstand finish. They play a 4-all late on last season, Brisbane Roar. 5 minutes added on by the fourth official. Bit of a swing and a miss by Perth, and Hayashi was going for glory. She had the hat-trick goal on the mind, but not to be for the diminutive live wire. Totally robbed Emma Tovar of the ball. What a performance she's put in, Momo Hayashi. On and off the ball this evening. Only picked off by Woods. Perth have got to throw everything at these stoppage time minutes. Lincoln. Oh, Lincoln that is. Back to Sarah O'Donoghue. Switch of play is not perfectly read by Studer, so Tian McKenna will get the ball. Dalton. The whistle slightly abridged, but still forthcoming for Perth. Appeals of Tamika Yallop going unheard. Two final rolls of the dice for glory. This juncture, will take whatever they can get. Well-weighted ball in, headed towards the penalty spot. Lincoln contesting. And can it be brought down for a clean strike from Abdul Masih? Well, Rachel Mitchington has stopped play before that. Just though it's a bit of head contact between Momo Hayashi and Charlie Wainwright. It's Wainwright of Glory, who looks to have come off second best. Oh, that is... Yeah, that does not tickle.
2 head injuries. Yeah. Drop ball to the goalkeeper because it was inside the penalty area.
Competing intently for the ball. Yeah, those are not fun to watch nor to be a part of. I'm still concerned here for Charlie Wainwright because Perth Glory have used all of their available substitutes. They would, of course, get a concussion sub, which would mean that one of their players who has been substituted off, by my understanding, would be allowed to come on in place of Charlie Wainwright. This is why there is such concern for the Glory midfielder. One half of the contest in Momo Hayashi at least back to her feet, and Wainwright's rejoining her now. Going to be a drop ball at the end of all of that. At the feet of Chloe Lincoln. Seems as though both players will be all good to continue. And the Raw will be in no hurry whatsoever. They have positioned themselves exactly where they wanted to be before that Canberra United game, as Miller marches forward. And couldn't get the shot to dip in time. In fact, she does not have her name on the scorer's sheet, has not been for a lack of trying. Stevenson doing something seriously special. Couldn't find any forward fortune. Her teammates further afield. So stoppage time has elapsed, but you might be able to hear the calls from the coaches on the sideline saying that there's still 3 minutes left of this game to go. Glory set for an anxious Saturday and Sunday. Still alive in the finals race, but if the Mariners and Melbourne Victory find a way to win, that would be that. Brisbane Roar, on the other hand, their quest to quell their finals droughts set to go all the way to the final weekend of the season. O'Donoghue loses out. Yallop. Ashlyn Miller. Can Raw put the seal on it? Tamika Yallop! Yes, they can! And who else could do it but Tamika Yallop? It's the Raw legend with the first goal back from her injury. And it's a goal that ices the cake at Spencer Park. Brisbane Raw have thrown down the gauntlet going into the weekend. And that one gets the heartiest applause of the evening. Tamika Yallop showing her class to score an incredible 11th goal against Perth Glory. 77 now in the Ninja A-League for a living legend. And the last member of the Raw squad who took them to the finals in 2021. Let's put them half a step closer. In the face of the enormous challenge that Perth put down, Brisbane have just had the answers time and again this evening. To weather storms and threats from Perth, there'll be another one coming here. Wicked free kick, but Lincoln gathers comfortably, and that'll do it. 3 precious points in Brisbane Roar's quest for finals football. And the roar of the crowd at Spencer Park tells the story. A sea-soaring 7-goal game sees Brisbane emerge victorious after leading 2-0, seeing Perth Glory pull it back to level pegging Goals from Kaya Stevenson, Momo Hayashi, and Tamika Yallop off the bench for the first time since injury. Sealed the deal on a massive, massive win before the final round. The full-time score, Brisbane Roar 5, Perth Glory 2. Well, it's another Spencer Park spectacular in the Ninja A-League. A new venue this season, it has not disappointed. Goals galore in this fixture. A fixture in which Perth started the brighter. Had the buck of the early chances, but that counts for nothing. And Brisbane Roar are the first side to put the ball in the back of the net. Amy Medwin heading home the first of 7 goals in this fixture. Momo Hayashi on the occasion of her 31st birthday, powering one home, and from there, it seems